Well, if that's the case, then what I'll do, because my first meeting is off-site, so we'll roll out and hit this meeting. I've got these private investment capital groups, some from here in the States and some from offshore, who've come to town to meet with me about our intervention over there and their desire to see what they can do to support us. So we'll roll out and do that, and then we'll come back on site and knock out what we can do on site.
Sounds good.
That'll work.
Okay.
All right. Enjoyed it. I'll see you later on throughout the day.
I look forward to it.
All right.
All right, son. All right.
I love you. Love you too.
All right, let's go. Some of these artwork you see on the walls are from some of our artists over there. We always promote the work of the various artists. This was done by an artist named Jumaku in Low, Sierra Leone.
Beautiful.
And you'll see what used to be our game room, the pool table and everything is covered, is now packed with items that are being prepared to ship over to a couple of our project sites, primarily one being Sierra Leone. All of these bins, most of our storage space on site is full because we've been preparing. You know, we collect the things that we need over there, acquire them, buy them, whatever. Some are donated, and then we ship them over for the various aspects of our operation. So you'll find everything from clothes, socks and shoes, and items for children, to medical supplies, surgical tools, drugs, etc. for the hospitals, to farming implements, etc. So, and we have a lot of high-tech things we're trying to upgrade in some of our various training programs. So it's not a lot of space. We have, you know, something that's a premium there is quality paintbrushes. So even something like paintbrushes, we have 300 or 400 paintbrushes, so that we're able to increase the quality of services being delivered. These are just more of those same bins that are being prepared. So hopefully we'll get a container in here this week, and we can get some of these things loaded and on out of here. So we'll get on to this meeting so I get there on time.
Apostle, I noticed that in your prayer you used the name Elohim. Am I saying that correctly?
Yes, Elohim is correct.
Yes, I saw the name on the gate and in the name of your church, and I heard you use that name. What is Elohim?
When the sovereign creator first communicated with humanity, he identified himself as Elohim. As languages developed, particularly after the Tower of Babel, when the languages were divided and the various cultures emerged, each culture had a name for the concept of a deity. That name or concept was not specific to the deity, but just explained the general deity, like Dieu or Dios or Kurios in Greek, or in English, the word God just refers to a deity. It's not very specific. Well, when Elohim communicated to humanity, he identified himself as Elohim. So we use the same name for the sovereign creator that he used for himself.
All right, so I noticed that you said it's the church, but I didn't see any crosses, any crucifixes, no statuary. Can you explain why I didn't see any of those things?
Well, again, we try to structure and do everything according to the instructions in the scriptures, in the Bible, because again, if we accept the Bible as our ultimate authority and the author of the Bible as our ultimate authority, and we do things in accordance with those instructions, those principles, etc., then we can fully expect that the sovereign creator Elohim will intervene and positively affect our work, which is what we rely on, and that's the reality that we've experienced. So in the scriptures, such things are condemned. Images of worship, like crosses and crucifixes and the like, and that's why we don't have them around. God said that when he revealed himself to the children of Israel, they didn't see any image. He didn't show anything, so he doesn't want them to use things as articles of worship or bow down and worship things as if something created by man is holy.
Are you using the same scriptures that other churches use?
Well, I really can't speak of what resources other churches are using. We use the King James version of the Bible, King James, the New King James version of the Bible, because it is a direct translation as opposed to some of the other versions. But that's what we use as the primary authority, because it has a higher degree of accuracy than a lot of the other English translations.
Could you tell me or show me where this thing about it not using the images, or it is in the scriptures? Can you tell me where that is in the scriptures?
Sure. I'll pull it up here on my iPad. This is in Deuteronomy chapter 4, beginning in verse 2. You shall not add unto the word which I command you, neither shall you diminish anything from it, that you may keep the commandments of Yehovah. The word Lord, spelled in all capital letters, capital L, capital O, capital R, capital D, is the English translation of the name Yehovah. So where Lord occurs, we translated Yehovah, which is what it is in the original language. And God in the original Aramaic or Hebrew language is the name Elohim. But anyway, which you shall not, beginning in verse 2 again, you shall not add unto the word which I command you, neither shall you diminish anything from it, that you may keep the commands of Yehovah Elohim which I command you. Your eyes have seen what Yehovah did because of Baal Peor. For all the men that followed Baal Peor, Yehovah Elohim has destroyed them from among you. But you did cleave unto Yehovah Elohim, and are alive, every one of you this day. Behold, I have taught you statutes and judgments, even as Yehovah Elohim commanded me. This is Moses talking. That you should do so in the land where you are going to possess it. Keep therefore and do them. This is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nations, which shall hear all those statutes and say, surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people. For what nation is there so great, who has Elohim so near unto them, that Yehovah Elohim our God is in all as we call upon him? And what nation is there so great that has statutes and judgments so righteous as this law, which I set before you this day? Only take heed to yourself, and keep your soul diligently, lest you forget these things which your eyes have seen, and lest they depart from your heart all the days of your life. And teach them to your sons and your son's son, especially the day that you stood before Yehovah Elohim in Horeb, when the Lord said unto me, Gather the people together, and I will make them hear my words, that they may learn to fear me all the days that they shall live upon the earth, and that they may teach their children. And you came near and stood unto the mountain, and the mountain burned with fire into the midst of heaven, with darkness and clouds and thick darkness. And Jehovah spoke unto you out of the midst of the fire. You heard the voice of the words, but you saw no similitude. You saw no image. Only you heard a voice. And he declared unto you his covenant, which he commanded you to perform, 10 commandments, and he wrote them upon 2 tables of stone. And the Lord commanded me at that time to teach you the statutes and judgments, that you may do them in the land where you go to possess it. Take therefore good heed unto yourselves, for you saw no manner of image on that day that Jehovah spoke to you in Horeb out of the midst of the fire, lest you corrupt yourselves and make carved images in the image of any figure, the likeness of male or female, the likeness of any beast that's in the earth, the likeness of any winged fowl that flies in the air, the likeness of anything that creeps on the ground, the likeness of any fish that's in the waters beneath the earth, unless you lift up your eyes unto heaven, and when you see the sun, moon, and stars, even all the hosts of heaven should be driven to worship them and serve them, which Elohim has divided unto all nations under earth. But Jehovah has taken you and brought you forth out of the iron furnace, even out of Egypt, to be unto you a people of inheritance, as you are this day. So you see, he made it clear that there were to be no images of worship, no things to bow down and say is holy or represents God. So we don't.
Well, why is that important? I mean, if all these other churches, they seem to be worshiping God, why is that important that you not have images then? I understand where you just showed me that in the scriptures, but why is that important?
Well, I don't declare what its importance or non-importance. The only thing I do as an apostle, and I teach others to do, is follow the instructions in the scriptures. As we follow the instructions, then we can, knowing we're in obedience, expect Elohim's intervention and magnifying our work and making provision for us, which is what our experience has been throughout our lives, living and learning his way. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go and we've got this group of private venture capitalists that have come from 5 states and 2 countries to meet with me this morning. So I'm going to go into my meeting. Mr. Bay, you can call him Mr. Lucy. He can answer any questions that you have about the organization, and that'll help maybe shape some of your questions for me for later on. And then when I come back, then we'll kind of roll and then get on back to our study and making whatever available to you that you need for your investigation.
Well, thank you, sir.
Gentlemen, good morning. How are you?
Good.
According to Who's Who Global Research, born 15th of August 1950, Apostle Dr. Kenneth D. Jackson Sr. is an